going into effect in California for fast food workers, $20 an hour. But with money in politics, things are never quite that simple, are they? Kate Rogers joining us now to explain exactly who is covered by this and who isn't. Hi, Kate.
Hey there, Court. The minimum will be among the highest in the nation and the sector's highest as of today, with ripple effects sure to be felt for all parties involved in varying ways. Now, right now, Glassdoor data show that just over 20% of California fast food workers are making $20 an hour, so many more will get a pay raise. The law targets fast food chains with 60-plus locations nationwide and impacts here more than 500,000 workers in this sector, Governor Newsom said in the fall. Now, there are exemptions for bakeries who make bread on site, restaurants and airports, museums, hotels, and event centers. The SEIU president, Mary Kay Henry, told CNBC the focus was on fast food because workers were inspired to take action in the wake of the pandemic. It's among the most meaningful developments since Fight for 15 began a decade ago.
It's taken us 10 years to get to this table, and they feel like they're going to have a voice on the job that they've never been able to experience before.
Now, business advocates say this will have both ripple effects and unintended consequences for workers and businesses alike. The IFA president saying, quote, "These are small businesses and they're facing now mandated higher costs, and those costs are going to get passed on to the customer and will likely result in fewer jobs." That's Matt Haller, the president and CEO of the International Franchise Association, and that group was involved in these negotiations as well. So a lot of back and forth here on how this will play out, Courtney, and certainly will be something to watch over the next year.
There are so many questions I have for you, Kate, but obviously California is a big state. There's a lot of companies there, a lot of fast food companies. Are there any publicly traded chains that are being affected that you've been able to identify yet? I know sometimes the pay data isn't always super transparent. I think you said 20% are already making this wage, but 80% that means are not.
That's right. So, Courtney, if you think about companies that have a large footprint here, McDonald's, of course, Chipotle, Yum Brands, there's Jack in the Box, there's Starbucks, and it kind of depends also, keep in mind here, on how these chains are operated. So Starbucks, for example, those are company-owned locations. They'll have to comply, but the company sets the prices there. Chipotle, same thing, company-owned. McDonald's, though, those are run by franchisees. So franchisees wind up deciding how much they're going to raise prices, but it all could wind up impacting these larger companies as well, because if consumers do indeed pull back, as some are projecting, then that will wind up hitting the bottom lines of some of these companies. But on the other hand, the SEIU says low-wage workers will have more money to spend. And we know a key theme this earnings season and beyond has been the low-income consumer pulling back. So does this wind up, boosting business for some of these companies that have experienced that? And it's kind of too soon to tell. We look to Seattle for an example. They raised to 15 years ago, and that was a big to-do there. And there's data to support both of those arguments. So we will be watching this one to see how it plays out.
All right, Kate, thank you very much. Raising Cane's is among the many restaurants being impacted by the minimum wage hike today in California. The chicken finger chain has currently 87 locations across California. Plans on opening an additional 20 this year. For more here, let's bring in Raising Cane's co-CEO